Alrighty then, it is time to take it from the beginning this time. Let's do it. TCM The Beginning is, of course, the prequel to the 2003 remake, and my very first theatrical chainsaw experience, and I must say, it was a hilarious time. This movie is about as good as the remake, just about as good as the remake, and I'm glad that I kind of gave these two movies another shot, because I ended up enjoying them a little bit more than I used to do. Especially when I first saw it in theaters. I laughed at some of the stupid stuff that went on, like everybody else did in the movie theater that night. But I also thought it was a stupid movie. Watching it again some 8 years later. 8 years later. Think about that. Holy crap. I really do enjoy this movie a little bit more. Not only for what it does, but for the casting in this movie as well. Let's touch upon the plot real quick. It's a very long synopsis, so forgive me if I run over a little bit too long. The plot revolves around, of course, the real-life mother of Leatherface, of course. She's pregnant and she works in this meat factory. She dies while giving birth. The owner of course, the meat factory sees the deformed baby and decides to throw him out in a trash can in the back of the factory. A lady, however, finds him in there and takes him home. Fast forward 30 years later, Leatherface now works at that said meat factory, and the meat factory is closing down. They're going out of business. He gets pissed, kills the owner of the meat factory, of course. Then we come to know the town's real sheriff, and he goes to the house where, of course, Leatherface is, and talks to to Tommy's nephew, which Tommy is Leatherface, but you know, anyway, Tommy's his nephew or uncle or something like that. Uncle. So he decides to go with him and find Tommy. They catch up with Tommy down the road, of course, and when he tries to tell him to get in the car and put down the chainsaw that he took while he was at the meat factory, because he found the chainsaw at the meat factory, of course his uncle kills the sheriff, puts on his hat and the badge, and becomes the lone sheriff of the whole desert. Can't really call it a town, there's not really much there. So yeah. Anyways, we come to meet these two brothers and their girlfriends, of course. One brother, of course, is going to Vietnam. The other one, of course, gets drafted, however, but doesn't want to go because he's afraid, so he and his girlfriend's going to try and go to Mexico. Say, fuck all that. Which I would agree, so, yeah. Anyway, they get caught up in an accident. The sheriff seemingly bailed them out for like 1 second, and then basically took them as his prisoners. What I think about this movie is, it's damn good. The acting in this movie is awesome, okay, because you got Jordana Brewster in here. Now she's on Dallas. Very awesome show. I love that show. I love Dallas ever since the originals. I call it continuations because it is a continuation of the show, so yeah. And then you got Matt Bomer. I did not recognize him before when I seen this movie in theaters 8 years ago. Now I know who he is. He's from that show on the USA. He voiced Superman. And I believe it was Superman either Unbound or All-Star Superman. It was one of those two. I think it was Unbound, actually. So, yeah, that was cool. He was also in, of course, a movie I just reviewed like a month and a half ago, In Time, where he gave Justin Timberlake all the time before he killed himself, so that was cool. Anyway, and of course you have the sheriff. The sheriff is back here and he's awesome, okay? Well, he's the sheriff now, but he wasn't really the sheriff before, so yeah. And the guy that was in the wheelchair in the first movie is now walking, and you get to see how he got in the wheelchair later on. It's kind of fucked up, but kind of funny because the whole family's stupid anyway. So it makes sense to laugh at him because you really don't give a fuck about the family, but you laugh at them because they're so fucking stupid. But yeah, I do love the kills in this movie. The kills are awesome, especially when it comes to a man from a biker gang trying to get his girlfriend, because his girlfriend, and the other crew terrorized the group of kids before, of course, Jordana found them in the middle of the road to see if he could help. And then he was going to leave her, but he told them that he had his girlfriend with them, so he went to go find them. I love that kill, by the way. That was awesome. I also love the kill where Leatherface takes a chainsaw and just stabs it right in the guy's back and picks his ass up and just fucking, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome right there. That was sweet. That was sweet. So basically, yeah, I love the origin story of the Winter Soldier. Leatherface. Yeah, Winter Soldier. That's what he looks like for half of this movie anyway. So yeah, Winter Soldier is still massive. I think it's the same dude. And then when he finally, of course, gets his hands on a man's face, he no longer becomes the Winter. He's no longer the Winter Soldier, and then he finally becomes Leatherface. It's awesome. Overall, I'm gonna give Texas Chainsaw, the TCM, the beginning, a B+. I almost called it Texas Chainsaw 3D. Oh hell no, that movie sucked dick. Oh my god, that was horrible. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about TCM, the beginning, down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And yes, we are done with the Chainsaw franchise. Yep, I know what you're thinking. What about Texas Chainsaw 3D? I reviewed that when that fucker came out. Unfortunately, I had the luxury of going to see it for free at a screening. Thank goodness, because I would not pay for that piece of shit. And I'm glad I didn't pay for that piece of shit, because I would have been pissed the fuck off. But anyways, let me know out of all the Texas Chainsaw movies, which one is your... If you can only pick one, which one out of the entire franchise is your favorite one? Let me know down below. I'll catch you guys in the next franchise.